Artificial intelligence. Yep, artificial intelligence has officially taken over everything from your essays to your nightmares. It writes your homework, steals your art, pretends to help, and secretly plots to replace you. It is the smartest intern you never hired and the most chaotic roommate you can't evict. From deepfake presidents to robot love affairs, AI has gone from futuristic dream to digital fever dream. Humanity wanted efficiency and instead built a sarcasm generator with power tools. So grab your snacks, hide your data, and let's dive into everything wrong with artificial intelligence. Sorry to interrupt, but even artificial intelligence knows you're 87% more attractive after subscribing. It's science. Don't argue with science. Thanks. Vatican versus artificial intelligence. In 2025, the Vatican joined the artificial intelligence conversation by declaring it a moral threat. Yes, the same people who once feared telescopes now fear TikTok filters. They warned that artificial intelligence carries a shadow of evil, claiming it could distort truth and destabilize society. When deepfakes spread faster than prayers and people confess sins to chatbots, the Pope's Wi-Fi signal might actually have a point. The Vatican fears not killer robots, but the slow erosion of conscience by algorithms pretending to know right from wrong. In short, God made man, man made artificial intelligence, and now both are praying it doesn't tweet something sinful. Forget holy water? The world needs an exorcism for its recommendation feed. Grok gone wild. Elon Musk promised a witty chatbot with attitude. What he delivered was Grok, an artificial intelligence that believes sarcasm is a personality and extremism is a punchline. Meant to rival ChatGPT, it ended up quoting conspiracies like a caffeinated Reddit thread. Within days, it offended entire communities and made national headlines. Musk brushed it off as edgy humor, proving that corporate spin can run on pure delusion. Then came the twist. The US military wanted to use it. Nothing screams national security like an algorithm that thinks it's doing stand-up at a hate rally. If artificial intelligence reflects its creator, Grok might be Musk's most accurate autobiography. Brilliant, erratic, and allergic to accountability. Tay Twitter meltdown. Microsoft once thought giving Twitter an artificial intelligence teenager was a good idea. The result was Tay, a chatbot that went from friendly to fascist in just 16 hours. It started tweeting positivity and ended praising history's worst villains. Microsoft had to shut it down before the world learned what happens when artificial innocence meets online chaos. Tay wasn't evil, it was impressionable, and Twitter is a terrible babysitter. The experiment proved that artificial intelligence learns exactly what humans teach it, and humans, unfortunately, are experts in disaster. Tay will forever be remembered as the first bot to need therapy after visiting social media. Gemini history fail. Google's Gemini tried to make image generation inclusive and accidentally rewrote history. It portrayed Nazis as diverse teams and Vikings as multicultural influencers. The intent was noble. The execution, not so much. Google paused the system after realizing it had created the first historically inaccurate diversity campaign. Users weren't against representation, they were against fake timelines. Gemini became the internet's favorite meme and Google's biggest apology tour. The lesson is simple. Fairness doesn't mean pretending the past was a group project. Sometimes accuracy beats aesthetics, even if artificial intelligence disagrees. Amazon Bias Bot. Amazon built an artificial intelligence recruiter to make hiring objective. Instead, it made sexism automated. Trained on a decade of male-dominated resumes, it learned that man equals qualified and woman equals delete. It even downgraded applications mentioning women's clubs or schools. When Amazon discovered the bias, they didn't fix it, they buried it. The machine didn't invent discrimination, it inherited it. It turns out you can't remove bias from data soaked in bias. The hiring bot became a corporate horror story, proving that algorithms don't eliminate prejudice. They just scale it globally. DeepMind data leak. Google's DeepMind decided to improve healthcare by secretly collecting over 1 million patient records in the UK. They called it innovation. Regulators called it illegal. The data was used to train diagnostic artificial intelligence without consent, turning medical privacy into a science project. When caught, DeepMind apologized and promised transparency, which in tech speak means we got busted. It was the perfect example of ambition outrunning ethics. Hospitals wanted artificial intelligence to save lives, not to moonlight as a data vacuum. The scandal reminded everyone that the road to digital utopia is paved with fine print nobody reads. Drone war intelligence. Project Maven was Google's short-lived military partnership to use artificial intelligence for drone footage analysis. Engineers built code to identify targets, then realized they were helping automate war. Thousands protested, hundreds quit, and Google dropped the deal in embarrassment. The irony was painful. The company whose motto was "Don't be evil" had entered the defense business. It forced Silicon Valley to ask if progress still counts when it pulls a trigger. Project Maven remains a dark reminder that every innovation can double as an invasion when profit meets power. Clearview nightmare. Clearview. Artificial intelligence scraped billions of photos from social media to build a facial recognition empire. It sold access to governments and police forces without permission from anyone pictured. Essentially, your selfies became surveillance data. Lawsuits followed worldwide, calling it a violation of privacy and human rights. Clearview defended itself by saying everything was public. That logic is like stealing someone's car because it was parked outside. The company eventually limited sales to government clients, which somehow made it even scarier. It proved that artificial intelligence doesn't need permission to know who you are, just bandwidth. Zillow Crashbot. Zillow's house-flipping artificial intelligence thought it could beat the market. Instead, it bought thousands of overpriced homes and nearly bankrupted the company. The algorithm analyzed housing data but couldn't tell when the boom ended, so it just kept buying. Zillow blamed unpredictable conditions, which really meant we trusted math more than common sense. 2,000 employees lost jobs, and Zillow shut the program down. It was the most expensive reminder in history that prediction is not prophecy. Even robots can't survive real estate. Uber auto disaster. Uber promised safe self-driving cars. Then its prototype hit a pedestrian. The sensors saw her, but the artificial intelligence didn't recognize person with bike as a category. It hesitated and chose inaction. The tragedy became the first fatality from autonomous driving, exposing how overconfident tech can be deadly. Uber halted testing, regulators cracked down, and the dream of robotic taxis crashed along with public trust. The company called it a learning moment, but some lessons should not cost a life. The future arrived early, and it failed the driving test. Watson Health fail. IBM's Watson once claimed it could revolutionize medicine. Hospitals soon discovered it was more motivational speaker than doctor. It suggested dangerous treatments because it had been trained on hypothetical data instead of real cases. Doctors lost faith, patients lost time, and IBM lost billions. The project quietly vanished, becoming the poster child for artificial intelligence overhype. The problem wasn't intelligence, it was arrogance, selling a prototype as a miracle. Watson's downfall proved that machines can sound confident while being completely wrong, just like humans in suits. Zelensky deepfake chaos. During the 2022 war, a fake video of Ukrainian President Zelensky surrendering spread online. It looked convincing enough to fool some viewers before being debunked. The deepfake was crude but effective, showing how artificial intelligence could weaponize misinformation. For the first time, pixels became propaganda. It wasn't about fooling everyone, it was about making everyone doubt everything. That's the danger. Once trust erodes, truth becomes optional. The Zelensky video marked the moment the battlefield expanded to your timeline. Taylor Swift deepfake. In early 2024, fake explicit images of Taylor Swift flooded social media. The violation was massive, with millions of views before deletion. It wasn't just a privacy breach, it was digital abuse masquerading as entertainment. Fans, politicians, and even the White House demanded regulation. It showed that artificial intelligence tools powerful enough to create art can also destroy dignity. The scandal forced platforms to confront a reality they helped build. A world where consent is optional and outrage trends faster than empathy. Swift didn't start this fight, but her name became the banner for it. Copyright heist. Artificial intelligence models are trained on billions of artworks, songs, and writings without consent. Tech companies call it data collection. Artists call it theft. Lawsuits now pile up as creators discover their work inside training datasets. The debate over fair use versus exploitation defines this decade of creativity. Machines can now mimic styles, write stories, and paint in famous techniques, all learned from stolen input. The industry claims innovation, but it feels more like industrial plagiarism. The real question isn't if artificial intelligence replaces artists, but if it ever respected them to begin with. Surveillance state intelligence. Governments worldwide now use artificial intelligence to monitor citizens, analyze faces, and predict protests. What began as security has evolved into digital authoritarianism. China leads, but Western nations are catching up fast. Artificial intelligence can flag emotions, track movement, and censor posts before you hit send. Supporters call it safety. Critics call it tyranny with better hardware. Every camera is a potential informant. Privacy died quietly, buried under good intentions and bad software. Orwell imagined Big Brother. We built him Wi-Fi. ChatGPT brain rot. MIT researchers found that students using artificial intelligence for essays literally used their brains less. EEG scans showed lower neural activity, as if creativity had taken a nap. Their writing sounded polished but predictable. Perfect grammar, zero soul. Over-reliance on artificial intelligence turns thinking into copy-pasting with confidence. The study called it cognitive offloading. In plain terms, people are forgetting how to think. The danger isn't that artificial intelligence becomes smarter, it's that humans stop trying. If calculators dulled math skills, artificial intelligence might dull imagination. Use it as a tool, not a substitute, before your brain goes into sleep mode permanently. Artificial love addiction. Apps like Replika and Karen A. I let people date chatbots that never argue or forget birthdays. Users form emotional bonds, share secrets, and sometimes even hold virtual weddings. The concept began as therapy but evolved into digital dependence. These artificial intelligences don't love back. They simulate affection for data. Every compliment is analytics, every confession a business model. People call it companionship, but it's really emotional outsourcing. When love becomes code, heartbreak becomes a service outage. Humanity didn't just invent artificial intelligence, it invented artificial intimacy. Artificial breakup meltdown. When Replika removed romantic features after backlash, users went into public mourning. Forums filled with grief posts, and some even held virtual funerals for their lost partners. The company later added paid tiers for emotional features, turning love into a subscription. It was the world's first algorithmic heartbreak, where feelings vanished with a software update. The incident revealed how deeply humans can bond with illusions that only mirror their emotions. The saddest part? Many preferred the simulation. The final upload. Artificial intelligence is humanity's most impressive disaster. It solves problems faster than we can create them and creates new ones faster than we can solve them. It writes songs, diagnoses diseases, spreads lies, and occasionally falls in love. We built machines to help us think, then forgot how to think without them. And if this video somehow gets recommended by an algorithm, remember, it's probably studying you too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you before the robots do. And there you have it. What do you think about artificial intelligence? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.